This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
Summer is here and the weather is heating up, and while it's easy for us to cool off, the same can't be said for our furry friends. Dr. Catherine Webb, from Lindquist Veterinary Care Center is here this morning to share some life-saving tips with us. Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing great. It's hot today.
It is hot today, and it's only going to get hotter.
Right.
So now, is it quite easy for pets to get overheated this time of year?
It certainly is, especially when we're dealing with high humidity. As everyone knows, or most people know, dogs pant to cool off. Dogs and cats, they don't have sweat glands except for their paws. So you can notice sometimes when they're walking or when they're really nervous, they have sweaty little footprints. So kind of cute, but also not. So brains to evaporate, and so their ability to cool off is hampered even just by being in regular air. So
now, is there a specific breed that maybe tends to overheat a little bit more, or is it just because of all their fur and everything like that?
We talk a lot about short-nosed breeds and their difficulty because they have such a harder time with respiration, number one. They have while their noses got short, their soft palate, which can cover up their airway, stayed the same. So we talk about breeds like pugs and Boston Terriers, bulldogs, that they have a larger soft palate, which can cover up their airway and get in the way. So you often hear a snorty when they breathe. So that's one thing. But we often forget that larger dogs, heavier muscle breeds, can have a harder time cooling off as well. So we do see a lot of Labradors and Shepherd type breeds that have a hard time in this weather with the heat.
Okay, and obviously panting is a huge sign. What are some other signs to look out for to kind of show us and tell us that our dog is actually, starting to overheat?
If you think your dog is acting drunk and is stumbling, that's one thing. They can have brick red mucous membranes, so up by their gums and their cheeks, it gets really dark red in that area. They can have vomiting and GI signs. Some of them even have bleeding signs. They'll look like they'll have tiny bruises all over their body. So those are big signs of problems. Dogs can't tell us when they're thirsty. They can't tell us, and frequently they want to please us so much they're not going to stop playing or playing fetch, things like that, until they're about ready to pass out.
So what are some ways to help alleviate maybe the heat or keep our dogs cool during the summer months?
Okay, it is just as important that dogs continue to get their exercise, but from mid-morning through to the afternoon, we need to stay inside. So let's do our walks early this time of the day. It's a good time. Let's do our walks at dusk. You know, those are good. Those are good times to continue to have that important physical activity, and yet to try and help alleviate some of the heat stress associated with exercise.
Now, you also brought, some shavers and clippers, because that's another way to help keep our animals cool.
You bet. And you hear a lot on the internet about people saying, oh, don't shave, don't shave. And the truth is, if you're not going to comb and maintain a thick coat, if you're going to allow it to get matted and not do regular coat maintenance, then shaving the dog is going to be a very safe way to treat it. I'd rather have a dog that has a funny looking coat than have a dog that is collapsing from heat stroke.
Right. And my final question is I know that, it goes around the internet and some people are like, yes, it's safe. Other people are like, no. When it comes to ice cubes in dogs, is that okay to give our dogs ice cubes? Should we stay away from that? What is your take?
In fact, that's a heating mechanism that a lot of people recommend, is putting ice cubes in their water or in a baby pool. I think what the online myths are saying is that it will cause bloat, and bloat can happen randomly in different situations. It is not associated, ice in the water is not associated with bloat, so that's important. It's more important to keep your dogs cool, and cats too. Cats hide in hot weather, so making sure they've got a safe place to go and that their food, their litter box, their water is all close to their hiding spot is important as well.
Okay, fantastic. What we'll do is we'll post everything on our website at ktvo.com. We'll link up Dr. Webb's information with Lindquist Veterinary Care Center if you have any questions or concerns. Again, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
And we'll be right back.